Welcome class, this is Mr. Soto and this is a video for the mini pizzas versus calzones project. This will be the first video. In this video we're going to go over the situation, what the problem is that I want you to solve, and then we'll start a simple spreadsheet. So let's begin with, first of all, with a situation. So here's what we have. We have a restaurant, sells mini pizzas and calzones. We want to produce both and make as much money as possible. We call this the revenue. But we do have some restrictions. First of all, the pizzas sell for $5 and the calzones sell for $7. In addition to these restrictions, we'll have two more. There are some labor time restrictions. For example, pizzas take 6 minutes to prepare, and calzones take 10 minutes to prepare. And we only have 480 minutes total labor. That's an 8-hour shift for each person that's going to be working. There's also some baking time restrictions. It turns out that for the pizzas, it'll take 4 minutes to bake, and for calzones, it'll take 6 minutes. But we only have 426 minutes total of baking time because we need to clean the ovens. And by the way, 426 was sort of a number that I picked so that the math would work out really nicely. In reality, it could be 420 or 400 even. So these are some of the restrictions that we have right now. And what we'd like to do, here's the problem. Assuming that all the pizzas and calzones will get bought, for example, Hy-Vee will buy all of them from us, how many pizzas and calzones should we produce to maximize revenue? This is, considering we have these restrictions on our problem. So what we'll do to help you solve this problem is we'll have two videos. In the first video, we are going to set up a spreadsheet that calculates revenue using this formula. Here, R is the revenue, P will be the price of the mini pizzas, X will be the number of mini pizzas, Q will be the price of the calzone, and Y will be the number of calzones that we produce. And in video 2, we're going to work with the labor and baking time restrictions to actually find an answer to the problem. Your assignment will be to turn in the spreadsheet that we finished off with in video 2 and to put it in Dropbox. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So this is my screen on a Mac, and I will be working with Excel. And so Excel is this program right here that has an X. So hopefully you have this on a PC. I will have a video on that, and then you'll be able to do this also. But this should work well for all the Macs. So let me click on this. I see the Excel workbook here. This is what we want to use, so let's double click on this one and let's set up our spreadsheet. Now I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that we can see better, and let me make this a little bit bigger. And so what I'd like you to do on cell A2, so that means A2, when I say A2 I mean column A, row 2. I'd like you to type name with a colon, press enter or return, then type date with a colon, and then finally type assignment with a colon also. And we're going to go ahead and highlight these three. So you take your mouse and you highlight them. And I want to make them bold. So I'm going to go here where it says B, and that'll make them bold. One of the things I'd like to show you right away, though, is that you can adjust the size of the column. So notice that my cursor right now is sort of a cross. But when I move it up to the labels, now it becomes either narrow or a cross. I'd like to keep the cross. If you click and drag, you're allowed to adjust the width of your column to whatever size you want. Now sometimes there's a shortcut that if you go up here and it's black, it's the black cross, if you double click right now, Excel will actually give you a column width where all the cells can be read and there's nothing cut off. So for example, you wouldn't get something like that. Okay, so it actually does it really nicely. Now here where it says name, if you can type your first name and your last name, my first name is Roberto, my last name is Soto. Then if you can type in the date, whatever date it is that you do this, today is the 12th, 2014. And then the assignment, let's call this mini pizzas versus calzones. Now notice that again, this mini pizzas versus calzones doesn't fit in here. So what I would do is go up here and double click. And there we go. One of the things that I like to do is align these things. So let me show you how to do that. Here, again, I drag the three. And up here, in these three buttons, notice that it says align text left. So this button will align it to the left. This one will align it to the center. And the one right here where it says align text right, it'll align things to the right. I prefer align text right. It doesn't matter, to tell you the truth. Whichever way it works for you, it will be fine. All I need to see is your name and what project you're doing and the date that you did this. Okay, so we have this formula, this revenue formula, so I'm going to bring it back so that you can see. And I like to be able, let me copy and paste it here. You don't have to do this, but I just want it here. So this is the formula we're going to use, where P is the price, X is the number of calzones, Y is the number of sorry, X is the number of pizzas, Y is the number of calzones, and P and Q are the prices. And so let's set this up. So let's call this, let's say number of mini pizzas, and let's call this X. And let's put number of calzones, and let's call this Y. And then I can't see this one, so again, we're going to adjust the column. I'll make this bold and probably adjust the column. And so we don't know what these will be, but I will put them down here. So for example, we could have maybe 50 mini pizzas and maybe 20 calzones. Okay. Right here on A8, if you can type in the price of the pizza, let's say that'll be P, and then the price of the calzone, let's call that Q. And then let's highlight these and make those bold. And right underneath we'll put the numbers. So for example, in the example that I gave, I said that the pizzas were $5 and the calzones were $7. Okay. Now usually we want to have units, and this is something that I've actually forgotten. And so usually we do want units, and so usually we want dollars. So maybe let's go here. So I want to show you how to edit these cells. So here where it says price of pizza, we can go up to this bar. Usually it's called the formula bar, but it's not a formula right now. And I'm going to go ahead and press hyphen and then dollars. And then I'm going to do it again for the calzones. I'm going to put a hyphen and then dollars so that we have units. Now Excel has a few more capabilities with numbers. So for example, this 5 here, we can make it into money. In fact, if we go to this drop-down menu and select currency, it'll actually write $5. And same thing with the 7. If I go here and press currency, it'll also give me $5. There is sort of a shortcut. We can hit this right here where it says money, and it'll actually give me, it's just the dollar sign's in a different spot. So it's sort of up to you which one you prefer, if you want the dollar sign all the way to the left, or if you prefer the dollar sign right next to the actual amount. So again, this is up to you, whatever is a little bit nicer for you. I mean, pressing the button is a little bit faster. And now we're going to use the revenue. Okay, well, I'd like to be able to calculate revenue. And revenue is the variable R, and this is going to be, and this will be in dollars. And then it'll be bold. Okay, and so I'm going to put it right here. So how do we calculate the revenue? So this is the part that I'd like you to be able to do by the end of this video. So we want to type in the formula here. And so what we do is we say equals, and then we just type in the formula as we see it. There's a P. P stands, we labeled, is $5. We take that price, multiply it by X. Well, X is 50. It's right here. It's A7. Notice the formula up here, A10, A7. It takes the number here on A10, multiplies it by the number here in A7, which is column A, row 7. Then the formula says plus, and then there's a Q. And so Q is the price of the calzone, so we press on 7. Then the times, and then the Y is the number of calzones, so that's 20. And then when we press enter, we get $390. The nice thing about this, now that we now have a nice little calculator here. So for example, if you make this 20 and this 10, it tells you exactly how much revenue you'll make, $170. If you produce 100 of each, 100 pizzas and 100 calzones, it says you've made $1,200. If you decide to raise prices, maybe make this $6 and make this $7.50, it'll say that now the revenue is $13.50. So there are a lot of changes that we can make, and I would like you to play around with this. And this will be the end of video 1. Play with this a little bit, and then keep changing things if you want. Change the price, change the dollar, see what works and what doesn't work. And then come back to video 2. And video 2 will show you how we can solve the problem.